So, is this game worth the cop or the drop? What's going on, people? It's your boy Wuzilla, the Hip Hop Kaiju Gaming, aka Wupak, and it's been probably the longest of long time since I've done a review or recommendation for a game since probably, I want to say, Tekken. I need to do these more often, but that's besides the point. But we're talking about God of War. Not God of War 1, 2, 3 or anything like that, but God of War, the new iteration or like rebirth of the franchise, because like the last God of War came out in like 2012, 13? I don't really remember. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Now what you're watching is behind me some epic gameplay of when I was fighting the dragon though. And I beat the bricks off his ass though, but we're gonna get to that later. This game is aesthetically beautiful, like the story. Let's go ahead and start off from the top. If you're familiar with God of War, then you know how the third one ended with Kratos killing himself because he's finally got his ultimate revenge and things of that sort, right? But now we're in this new area where he's in Asgard or Midgard or whatever. He's like in Norse mythology, and the entire story we're trying to figure out why is he there along with the gods. Now the crazy thing about this is that the entire time we're trying to figure out why is Kratos here and along with other guards. Now the dopest thing about this is the very first boss fight, and not the boss fight that you see when they're fighting the troll. I mean the very first boss fight, because spoiler alert, in this review does include spoilers. You fight Baldur, who is basically a god who cannot feel pain of any way, shape, or form, and cannot be harmed by way of magic or physical means, and it's like a curse basically. And from the jump, it kind of puts you in there and you already throwing these incredible hands. As a matter of fact, fuck all this talking. Let me go ahead and show y'all what I'm talking about. I drop kick his ass. Ooh! Ooh! Now, if that shit wasn't enough, you get awesome boss fights like the one that you're watching behind me with me fighting a damn dragon, which already was hella lit and hella crazy. Now let's go ahead and get down to the combat, which had a lot of people up in arms and a lot of people concerned about it. Let me tell you here, let me tell you firsthand, the combat in this game is excellent. It's actually more than a simple button mash review pressing square, square, triangle, square, triangle, 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 all that good shit. It's actually kind of a learning curve because you have to learn how to parry. Because if you don't parry, you will get fucked up a lot in this game. Blocking is a key component to being successful at this game. Not to mention you have to be able to read your opponent, which is actually kind of refreshing because they won't just attack you in a straight line. They'll try to circle around you. They'll like attack at different angles. Like they'll step back if you're not attacking them and throw shit at you. There's a whole bunch of different aspects of this game that kind of make it more difficult. And I beat the game on normal. That's the thing. I played this on normal and had a challenge, but it wasn't so bad to where I'm primarily focusing on the combat and not the story. So overall, the combat and whatnot, A1. You ain't got to worry about anything like that. So that's a plus already. Bing! And on to the story. Now the story, as I've kind of briefly covered or whatever, is basically Kratos and his son Atreus, who you've seen in like the trailers, things like that. They're basically burying their mom on top of the highest mountain top in Midgard or whatever, right? That was her final wish. And the entire story thing is like you basically trying to make Atreus into a man and be responsible and things like that. And you kind of like Kratos still has like that kind of, you know, deep-rooted aggression and kind of like offstandingness, you know, to where like he doesn't really want to fuck with people. But it's his son, and he's kind of like emotional, but not over emotional. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody's worried, like, oh, he's gonna be like Joel from The Last of Us, things like that. Far from that. He's still an asshole, and he was still giving game to Atreus. Because I'm gonna drop a few spoilers. The entire game, or like what you're playing, is Atreus. Like the whole journey is like you and Atreus trying to do one mission, because that's how Kratos works. He has an objective, he completes it. Atreus is the complete opposite. He might have an objective, but he wants to help people. He's an overall helpful person within this game, right? So there's plenty of moments where you do these side quests and help, you know, the undead ghosts, things like that. And while some are beneficial, some of them actually backfire, and you actually have to fight somebody, you know, because Atreus wants to help. And Kratos is basically always preaching, mind your business. This has nothing to do with us. We have a mission, we have an objective, we are to complete that objective, and that's what we're going to do. Meanwhile, Atreus is like, no, we gotta help these people, we gotta help them, blah, 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 blah. And not to mention, Atreus kind of goes through his douchebag teen phase within the game. Like, he basically ages in a span of like probably maybe 3 or 4 days, or what would take somebody to age like slower, he aged faster, if that makes any sense. Because like once he finds out that he's a god, because you know he's the son of Kratos, like he has god DNA in him, he turns into an asshole where he basically turns to like how he gets the god complex of, we decide what's right and wrong, not them. And then Kratos is like, dude, check yourself, because this is the problem that I have with gods in the first place, why I didn't want you to know type shit. The story is phenomenal, and it's a whole lot deeper than that, but I don't want to spoil too much, because y'all gotta play this. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have not played this yet. This is definitely a cop, but I'm gonna explain more to you why. So the story, another plus to this shit. Side quests. I've easily squeezed out probably 15 to 20 hours roughly, if I'm really considering how long it took me to beat this game. I could probably check, but that's just me thinking off the top of my head. And I didn't even 100% the game. I actually 46%ed it, or 40 or 49, and that's just me doing a few side quests and completing the main story, because that's what I want to do in order to give y'all a review. I want to complete the main story. So this game has loads of content. And the best thing about it, this is not an open world for the sake of the open world. The world actually lives and breathes, where there's like, you know, the big ass snake, which is dope as fuck. Where you have the homie Mimir. Y'all gonna find out who Mimir is if you actually play the game. He's actually the all-seeing, knowing god. Like, he knows everything that goes on in like Asgard, Midgard, the lore, everything. And he's always telling you stories, like whenever you're riding in the boat with Atreus and Kratos, and when you have Mimir with you, he's out here sharing this game with you and things of that sort. And like when you land on an island or whatever, he stops telling the story. And the best thing about this, the characters are fully aware of what's going on. So like, say that we're riding the boat, Mimir's telling us a story about like why Thor and the giant snake don't like each other, because that's actually in the game. When you hit land or breach upon land, he's like, we'll continue this once we're done with our quest and shit like that. It's the little details that I like, because sometimes in other games like that will conflict with the main game, where you'll be doing a mission, or like somebody will be talking, then like you'll go do a mission, like you'll hear the person talking, including the mission objective talking. You feel what I'm saying? They actually, you know, like, no, we got that, boom. The overall characters in the game, like Mimir's dope. The dwarf twins are dope. Like Brock, for all of y'all savages, you gonna like him. Atreus, he's actually not as whiny as one would think. Like he's actually really determined to like get his father's approval, which I kind of relate to an extent. Not saying that, you know, my dad, you know, is anything like Kratos extreme, but we all kind of look, if you have like a father figure in your life, you want his approval. Like, you want to make him proud, because like he's the man of the house and he's like the man in your life, so you want to, like, you know, prove that you're a man as well. Like, it's just kind of like in the DNA of like males. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna agree with that type of shit. But you know, Kratos doesn't really show his emotion, so Atreus has this issue with it, where he's all like, you know, you don't love mom as much as I did, and he's like, what the fuck you say? Nothing. That's what I thought. It's little shit like that that's dope. And the over-the-top kills, oh, they ain't go nowhere, baby. They ain't go nowhere. Like, y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Look at this. This is me killing a big ass dragon, dog, and Atreus be coming in the clutch. Look at how fire this is. Look how fire this is. You can't tell me this shit ain't lit. So story, gameplay, time spent playing the game, graphically, and I keep this in mind, I have the very first generation PlayStation, not the Pro, the Slim, none of that. I have the PlayStation before you could have an external hard drive. I had the PlayStation where I had to get the data bank, put the hard drive in, all that shit. I got that PlayStation, you feel me? And while it did sound like a damn jet engine, it looks beautiful. Like the gameplay you're watching, this is all just regular PlayStation gameplay. So graphically, it's astonishing. The voice acting is dope. I did have my reserves about it being a different voice actor. All that went away. The game is just overall phenomenal. The only issue that I might have with this game is that I encountered a few glitches within it. Now, were they completely in, you know, game breaking? Nah, but there was a glitch that I thought was gonna be like glitching me out the game. When instead of you being able to grab people in this game, you basically had to beat them down to bare hands and stun them in order to do a grab kill, right? Well, with one of those, I grabbed the dude and I just started running. Like I was just running. And Kratos wouldn't stop, and then all of a sudden, like, he finally went to the animation and stomped the dude's head off. Stomped the dude's teeth in or whatever, right? But overall, if I had to give this game a rating, because for whatever reason ratings mean something to people, I'm easily giving this game, hold up, a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10, but 10 out of 10 don't fully exist. I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with this game that I just can't think off the top of my head. Actually, I take that back. A big issue that I probably did have with this game was, like, Kratos really did feel human. He didn't feel completely godly like how he used to. People might argue that he's older, but come on now. Zeus was a million years older than Kratos, and he was a god. And I'm the god of war, and I killed Zeus. You feel what I'm saying? So that kind of needs to be fixed. But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. But I suggest you cop this. If you have a PlayStation, get this game. If you were thinking about getting a PlayStation due to, you know, the growing community or the constant growth of communities and exclusive things like that, and you're looking for a reason to buy it, I'd say buy this. Buy this for the PlayStation. Like, this game is freaking phenomenal. It's easily going to make my top 5 games of 2018. I might do a top 10. We gonna see, but easily top 5. So I highly suggest y'all check this shit out. If you have a PlayStation, if you don't, go to a friend's house if he has it. Play this. Take your boy's word for it. Look at the reviews. The reviews are completely accurate of like how amazing this game is. It's your boy Woozilla. Is this game a cop or a drop? It's definitely the cop. We out, baby. Oh, hold up. Before we say we out, hit that goddamn like button and share, subscribe while you at it. Now we out.